Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, where today I'll be showing you how to make blackberry pie. In a large bowl, start with 2 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, a quarter teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now add 12 tablespoons of cold diced butter. Using the tips of your fingers, toss and smudge the butter into the flour mixture until you get a crummy consistency like this. Now we're going to add our wet ingredients a little bit at a time. I'm starting with 4 tablespoons of water, and we most likely will need more as we go. To make the best pie crust, we need our ingredients to be as cold as possible. Now you see that I'm adding another tablespoon of water. You may need more or less water than I do depending on how dry your flour is. And we just want to use barely enough water until our dough comes together. And please do not use more water than you need to form your dough. That is the art of making pastry. If you add too much water to your dough, it can make the pie crust shrink when you're baking it. Now you see that I'm just working and kneading the dough until it just comes together. Do not overwork your dough, as that can make the pie crust a bit tough. After we're done, we're going to refrigerate the pie crust for at least 30 minutes so the butter can harden. After our dough has hardened, we're going to cut it into 2 equal pieces, one for the bottom crust and the other for the top crust. Now I'm going to roll the bottom crust into an even circle-ish shape until it is about several inches bigger than the pie plate itself. And you can see that I'm measuring the crust to make sure that it is the right shape and the right size. Now we're just going to carefully press our pie crust into the pie plate. I'm using a 9-inch pie plate here, but if you have 8 inches or maybe another size, that can also work. Now I'm just trimming and working the edges to make it more even. It does not have to look perfect at all. Now we're going to refrigerate our pie crust so we can work on our berry filling. Now onto our blackberry filling. I'm using freshly picked blackberries from my local farm here, and you need about 6 cups of blackberries. Now I'm adding 2/3 of a cup of white sugar and a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Make sure you don't use flour. The cornstarch will help thicken the filling. And now a tablespoon of vanilla extract and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Stir to combine. Now I'm adding the filling to the bottom pie crust. Now onto our top crust. This time I'm going to roll it into a rectangular shape because I want to cut nice lattice strips for my lattice topping. And I'm going to cut 1/2-inch strips. If you don't want to make lattice strips, you can just put the pie crust directly over the filling. Now we're going to work on our lattice topping. We're going to put half of our strips down in one direction, leaving some space in between. In order to weave our vertical strips in, I'm going to pull back corresponding horizontal strips and then add the strip there. So you can see that the strip is going over some strips and going under some. And then for the strip right next to it, I'm going to pull back the other corresponding horizontal strips that I did not pull back last time, and then add the strip there. So you can see that one strip always goes under and then goes over, under, over. And you're going to keep repeating this pattern until you get a nice, beautiful lattice topping. This is a good time to preheat our oven to 375 Fahrenheit degrees. After finishing the lattice, we're going to cut off and trim off any excesses. And then I'm going to pinch up the edges to make a nice crust layer and just make it look very neat and attractive overall. And feel free to be creative. Now I'm brushing on an egg wash, which is simply 1 egg combined with 1 tablespoon of water. And the egg wash will really give it a nice shiny appearance. Now bake on the bottom rack of your oven for about 50 to 60 minutes. In order to get nice browning, move your pie to the top rack for the last 10 minutes of baking. And now we're going to take it out. The pie crust should have a nice golden brown finishing to it. Finally, allow the pie to cool to room temperature before refrigerating for at least 4 hours. This allows the filling to set up so we can get nice, clean slices. After all our work and patience, it is time to eat. And oh boy, look how perfect that slice is. I'm so ready to try this now. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe and smash that like button for future updates. Thank you.